Welcome to the 90 Degree Show, the sports center for college marching bands where we recap the ultimate battles from this weekend. And now, here's our host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
Unmute your microphones. And welcome to the 90 Degree Show. I'm your host, Joe Beard. Happy to be of service for you today. We appreciate all those listening live or listening podcast forums on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, wherever we are on the interwebs. If you decide you like the show at the end of the broadcast, you can go to themarchingpodcast.com and click on the donate button to help improve the show and help build our scholarship fund. All right. Today we have another exciting podcast episode, whatever you want to call it. And we got some interesting things to talk about. Saw some more bands this weekend, so definitely can't wait to get into the discussion. Let me say hello to the greatest let's give a round of applause, even though they can't hear it. Let's give a round of applause to our panelists. Yeah. So, hello. Let me go ahead and start today by saying hello to Morgan State's greatest and finest, the one and only Bridget Bell. How are you doing in this podcast, ma'am?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I am doing great. How y'all doing?
All right. Everybody's doing good, hope. Shout out to all the folks in the chat room and the pride of the Marching 101, Ernest Stackhouse. How you doing in this podcast, sir?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. How everybody doing? Glad to be here today. Let's get it started. Let's get it popping.
All right. And I see you got a lot of red on, and that's kind of normal. But that kind of rolls into our intros and shout-outs today. And again, shout out to all the folks in the chat room. So I go with you, Ernest, because we kind of talked about this a little bit before, because I like sports myself. You know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead and start with you, Ernest. What's your shout-outs and things going on with you this week?
I'm on the podcast, but I'm tailgating. All right, I'm at the Niners game. I got my solo up. Yo, my 49ers, man. We 6-0. We got the Carolina Panthers up today. We about to spank them Panthers.
So, that's interesting, Carolina Panthers, that is, because you from that Carolina area, as with my family. Are you getting any slack for rooting on the West Coast team today?
You know what? It's been crazy, but my whole family has been Niners fans ever since, like, the 80s. So we rolled with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice since the 80s, man. And, we moved on up throughout the years. We went through the rough years.
Yeah.
we came back with Kaepernick and went to the Super Bowl, and we fell back down again. Now we're back. 6-0, baby. Quest for 6. Here we go.
That's what's up.
Yeah, my whole family, man, from my brother on to my dad, everybody, 49ers fan. I don't know how that happened. We Carolina, but I don't know how that happened.
Well, Carolinas didn't have a team back in the day. So my dad
that's what it was.
Yeah, and then my dad rode with anybody who went to a black college and was starting. So Jerry Rice, 49ers, that was our squad. He liked the Bears because of Walter Payton. He liked the Skins for a little minute, but just because they were the Skins, he kind of with Doug Williams and all that, he kind of wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I totally dig it. But then when St. Louis got the Rams, and, we won our championship, I became a Rams fan, of course, because, I had to roll. And I'm still a Rams fan, even though they out here. They followed me here to California after they moved St. Louis. So shout out to all the people back home in St. Louis. I know y'all mad, but, I can't be everywhere at once. All right, then. Round of applause. All right. So let's go ahead and kind of get into it. Bridget, how is your week? And what's going on with you? Any shout-outs going on with you today?
Hey, yeah, I have several shout-outs today. So since y'all started with sports, I guess I'll go ahead and start with sports.
Yeah.
So the funny part is, so my family, similar to you all, we didn't have a team here. Well, yeah, uh, Maryland didn't have a team for a little while till the Ravens came, late '90s or whatever, early 2000s, or whatever, whenever they came. So my family's from Alabama, so we've always been college football fans. I grew up on my dad's knee watching Alabama football. So Roll Tide is my shout out. And what? And speaking of great sports sports fans and all that good stuff, I have to give a shout out to my mom and dad, who they both have a birthday tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Right
So
on time.
they celebrating their birthday tomorrow. Both of them. When I tell you a couple that needs to write a book about their amazing story, they have like such an amazing story. So shout out to the Bishop Crawford and First Lady Crawford. Yep, I'm a PK for those who don't know. I'm a PK. So shout out to them. Hope they have a wonderful birthday tomorrow and enjoy their birthday. And then I have a couple more shout outs. So y'all gonna have to stick with me.
It's
While I'm
all
on
good.
family, shout out to my little person and her Zoe Eats podcast. Wait a minute, she's in the room today, so she's gonna wave at everybody.
Oh, look at her.
She
What's
said
up, Zoe?
they said, "What's that, Zoe?" So check her out on YouTube, Zoe Eats. Please subscribe and like and share as she gets her little podcast started. And speaking of kids, our hearts are heavy of the loss of the little cupcake little girl, Camille McKinney in Birmingham that was found. So prayers and shout outs to that family, Cupcake McKinney and Nevaeh Adams in South Carolina. So much prayers. We got to look out and protect these babies. So I had to give a shout out to them today on the show because both of those stories really kind of grabbed my heart. When you have little people in your life, then moments like that, you just want to grab them and hold them closer. So and I can't even imagine what their parents are experiencing. So shout outs to them. Along those lines, shout out to the Honorable Elijah Cummings. It's so amazing. We grew up with Elijah Cummings like that's like somebody next door. Like I didn't realize the magnitude. I was telling my line sister, you don't realize the magnitude of a person like Elijah Cummings until the funeral. I was like, oh, like he was big. Like, and I knew he was big, but he was so hands-on in the community. You know, Morgan games, he was right there just sitting there. You know, he'll sit there. He was on the board of trustees for Morgan State. I've sat next to him and I mean, from church events to anything else, because he was just a everyday figure, and everybody else see him as this great hero. But he was a hero and a champion for Maryland, for HBCUs in the state of Maryland, for the Black community. It's a tremendous loss. So shout out to Elijah Cummings and prayers to his wife, Sora Maya, Dr. Maya Cummings, and for their family. Let's see who I got a shout out for. Oh, I forgot a birthday shout out. Today is my homie, my bruh. One of the he's a professional instructor at Alcorn State. Brian Sterling got a birthday. You better be watching because you made me do this shout out. So shout out to the homie. We talking about y'all today. So tell all your folks we about to talk about y'all today real bad. I'm over here.
Amen. Shout out. My bad. Go ahead.
So shout out to my homie. Brian Sterling, hope your birthday is awesome. And then shout out to all those who are involved in Crankfest. It's happening shortly in Baton Rouge. To my homies, my neighbors, the Rogers brothers, and everybody who's involved, all the band directors. Much success on your event today. All right, I had some real shout outs today, y'all. I had to write them down.
That's real. The more the better. I love the shout out. So I'll do mine real quick. I was going to say shout out to Crankfest today. Good luck to everybody, all the bands, all the logistics, all the people doing everything. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the Rogers Bros. I really like them, man. So, you know, I'm really proud of what they're doing. And shout out to Show Style Talk. I like Travis and them too, man. I like them. So, shout out to y'all today. So, yeah, I had a couple to write down myself. All right. So, I want to give a shout out to Bridget, Christy, Ernest, Rashad, my frat brother Charles Marshall, Julian Johnson, and the STL, president of the OAAAC. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Who else we got? My sister Angie, my beloved sister Angie, my beloved sister Mel. All of them are in Texas, my family. Because all of those people, as I go through things up and down, they be like, hey, Joe, what you doing? And then it gets my mind out of myself. So shout out to y'all for all the love and support. Round of applause. Because, you know,
Don't forget about Mama Bear, because I know she on here. Hey, Mama. Don't forget Mama.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, shout out to my moms. Without her, none of this would be possible. So, yeah, definitely with that. But definitely wanted to give a shout out to your support system. Reach around and make sure you got it. Keep praying, because, it's wild out here in California. That's all I'm going to say. All right. All right. Let me see here. What else? Okay, and then my last shout out, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I love sports, but I also kind of love TV shows. And man, Power. I don't know who watched Power. Round of applause for Power. So the show is off the hook. I think this is the final season, so they doing everything that they can to smash it all together, and it's been exciting. Me and my wife have been watching it, and we be like, all the whole time. So I don't know. Do y'all watch Power?
I haven't gotten into it, bro.
What?
I haven't watched much TV since this doctor program. I'm so lost on TV. It's ridiculous.
Y'all gotta get on that Power, man. I'm telling you, man. It's just a really good show. Some of the seasons, of course, are better than others, but this last season is just doing a really good job. Shout out to, I believe the woman's name is Courtney Kemp. And so shout out to her. Really, really exciting. Always love to see black writers, the thinking behind some of the entertainment on the TV shows. Was Chandra Rhimes. I know she's pretty famous.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, all the writers out there doing some good things. Really love it. So really love the show. All right, y'all. I think that's it. And Bridget, shout out to you for calling out somebody from Alcorn. I was talking about Ernest because we're going to be talking to Ernest about, we're going to be talking about them today. And I wasn't sure what they said because Ernest said that they don't have the internet down there. And so you know what I'm saying?
Did you say that?
You gonna put it on me?
I'm just playing.
Y'all gonna do my folks like that?
Yeah. No,
Bridget how they are?
Bridget said it, y'all. Bridget said it all corn.
I ain't say nothing. I know they got the internet. I talk to folks down that way all the time. Don't do my folks like that.
You right.
Shout out to Alcorn. They be giving y'all a hard time.
They sure do. And we're gonna talk about why. We're gonna talk about the analysis behind that Alcorn. Because it ain't our fault. We make fun of you like that.
Alcorn, right. Don't pay Joe any attention. He is biased. So we're gonna go ahead and put that out there now. He went to Jackson State, so you're not gonna get a fair analysis from him. But me and Ernest got y'all, Alcorn. We got you.
That's right. We got you too. All right, so let's go. Let's go to our commercial break. We'll come back and get into the matchups we saw this weekend. And then in our final segment, they finally came out with, was it the Honda list? So it's an interesting list. A lot of prestige.
The Honda.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Honda. A lot of prestige there. So it's going to be exciting to talk about. Because I want to ask you guys, who you think going to win? Because, see, people don't know, or they probably know, Bridget and Ernest have done adjudications before, okay? They also survived a music major, and y'all know how hard music is, all right? So we definitely, I'm going to kind of pick their minds about who they think is going to win, and maybe if we have some bets, we'll see if, we come through on it or something. That'll be fun. All right, y'all.
We want to know if you reserve your spot in the fifth quarter box. That's all I want to know. I want to make sure that you got your spot in Christie box. I ain't talking to you if you don't. I'm just saying.
I think I did. I think I sent something to Christy. I did. I think I'm straight, Bridget. I think I'm straight.
All right, Christy, confirm.
Wait,
for Dr. Christy
confirm. Yeah.
Yeah, is she in the chat room?
I don't know, but I'm about to text her.
No, don't just hold on, wait. Let's go to the commercial break.
He sound like a kid about to get a beat. Let me try to get
Cut the commercial.
Yeah. So let me send her something while the commercial's going, and then we'll be right back. We talk about the matchups this weekend. 90 Degree Show. Thanks, y'all, for listening.
Your host, Joe Beard, and the 90 Degree Show will return in a moment.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
The source for fair and factual information on your favorite college bands, blockusup.com. Well-written articles, in-depth band performance analysis, helpful resources for band directors, fun band-related topics, and exclusive interviews with some of today's brightest and most talented leaders of college marching bands. Visit us at blockusup.com, the meeting place for band fans and band directors.
And now, more of the 90 Degree Show with your host, Joe Beard.
All right, guys, you can unmute your microphones. We'll be back here. The camera here. All right, we are back. Our third sponsor here that I always like to read until I get her commercial together. Shout out to you, Janetta. Bull City Music School and Store. You guys make sure that you go and call 919-423-5701. That's 919-423-5701. Or you can go to bullcitymusicschool.com, register your kids, register yourself for some great music classes. She has 2 locations, one in Hillsborough and one in Durham. So you guys make sure you go to Bull City Music School and get you some lessons. And Bull City Music Store, which allows you to get your hands on some instruments for your up-and-coming Mozart and your child, all right? So you guys make sure you contact her today. All right, so let's get into it. So all 3 of us saw some bands this weekend. Bridget, I'll ask you first who you saw so we can kind of go through it. What were the matchups or some of the individual bands you got to see this weekend?
So I guess the best footage that I could find this week is with Alcorn and Southern was pretty good. I can find some pretty good. I found some pretty good footage of them. So I saw them try to get a little bit of the Magic City Classic, but for some reason I didn't see any of the media teams post anything. And and it was like everybody else's footage. The footage wasn't really that good, and it was from behind. Even though shout out to Let me tell you something. Alabama State dancers be bringing it. I'm just going to let y'all know. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. They came through with them stands with their little fan, them boas. Come through, boas. So shout out to the Stingers. And then the Honeybees came behind them in their Deaconess outfit. The hats on the side. Okay, come through, Deaconess. So shout out to them. But so their footage was okay. But I saw South Carolina State, who I have not seen in a very long time, and Cookman, who I saw fast forward through the footage because I knew what they was about to do. I said call their show. Only thing I wanted to hear was the song Ernest was talking about. He told us about a song. But everything else is so darn predictable. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. But Alcorn and Southern shaped up to be a pretty decent battle. It was pretty cool. So shout out to them.
That's what's up, Rich. So out of those bands, I guess I want to ask you who out of them was the best that you saw?
That is so hard. That's really hard. Let me tell you something. So I can talk about the bands, but to say who was the best, they had moments. So let's talk about Alcorn and Southern. I saw the Zero Quarter. Hands down, Zero Quarter is Southern. Southern came out the box punching in the mouth. It was like, what? They was ready for it. And so Alcorn didn't sound bad. They have a really good sound. And it's so funny. They have similar styles to me now. Like you can tell there's juke in charge over there at Alcorn. And that's what's up. They're doing a good job. Like they're doing a nice job. So it was really hard to call who won halftime. I kind of give a little bit of an edge to Alcorn on the show. I thought they had a little bit of a better show. I kind of struggle with their concept sometimes of how they design shows. It's kind of like, hey, let's do this, hey, let's do that. So, but that's, it wasn't that it was a bad show. It was really a good show, and I'm real careful because I'm friends with them, but it's still cool. I'm gonna tell you the truth. it was a good show. I thought it was a decent show. And then Southern did a show that they did at FAMU. I was like, oh man, like I expected something more. So I almost feel like Southern didn't get up for Alcorn. Like they was like, okay, it's Alcorn. I don't feel like they don't get up for them, but that's my issue sometimes with Southern. They get up for Jackson State. You kind of see them get up for Bayou Classic a little bit, but they don't really get up for many bands. And I can kind of tell that it was kind of like, okay, it's Alcorn, you know. So, yeah, and then I saw the fifth quarter. Fifth quarter was a little bit of a different swing. I probably would swing fifth quarter to Alcorn a little more because, once again, it was just like Southern was like, they were playing. They didn't sound bad. Understand this. Neither band sounded bad, but it just kind of, you know, who had that fire, who really wanted it. And Alcorn clearly wanted the fifth quarter more. So I saw them. Let's see, we talked about South Carolina State. I have not seen South Carolina State in years. And let me tell you, their numbers are a little down, but they was pretty solid. They had a really good sound. The dancers we got to send them back to the drawing board a little bit. They look tired. They look tired. Them jokers look, they was like, ooh, they're like taking breaths in between eighth counts. Like, we're going to get the dancers in shape. I was just like, ooh, they like taking whole breaths. They like stopping. I was just like, oh my Lord. And trust me, I like band. I'm a band director, so I watch, but I like auxiliary stuff too. Shout out to the GGs was slaying. Dancing Dolls was slaying. You know, they do a great job. You know, 14 Karat, Bethune-Cookman dancers always do a nice job. There were some glitches. Gigi's are probably one of my favorite. They're kind of ratchet, but they're kind of my favorite dance line. Like that's my alter ego. Like Gigi's. Like if I'm gonna be a dance line, I'm going ratchet. But Gigi struggled just a little bit. Like their routine wasn't as polished as it normally is. So you know, I'm gonna talk about the whole band experience thing. So that's who I saw. Cookman, like I said, is so predictable. They sound good. They like fan music. They like family. Like, you know, they're going to sound good. They're going to sound good. They're going to do that basic little thing. Only thing that always gets me, I don't care when they do the Wildcat song, I get hyped every time I'm singing it. then I fast for the show because I know what's coming. And they're going to, you know, they're going to do drill. They're going to do little dances. Their slow piece was good. It was good, Ernest. And I didn't watch their dance routine. There was elements of each band that I really, really enjoyed from all four bands that I saw. There's elements of, you know, who's better band. That is becoming harder and harder to call better band. And I give a shout out to the directors for making it hard. Some good instruction is happening. And I haven't seen any like clear like blogs like, woo, they blew them out. I'm not saying that just
not this year.
No, they're like people are stopping, and they're doing them. More importantly, bands are doing them, and that makes it even harder. If you stay true to who you are and you're doing the best version of you, it's hard to say, oh, they're bad, they're good. No, they're doing who they are, and I can appreciate that.
So I'm glad you took it that way. I didn't necessarily mean it like who was the best, but I guess what was something that brought something out of you, or what do you remember most? I think that's what I'm gonna start saying. What was your most memorable, like I do on Chopping It Up? What was the most memorable experience, or what jumped out at you at the most from what you saw? That's a little bit more cleaner, I think. So Ernest, who did you get a chance to see, and what did you think, and what brought out something in you? You know what I'm saying? Not who was better, but what brought out something in you, brother?
Well, man, I saw most of the same bands that Bridget saw from the Benedict State battle or meetup or whatever. She's right. Bethune. Did I say Benedict? Bethune State. BC. BCU, not BC. But they're kind of predictable. I kind of felt that way too, right from the sideline. You know, they're going to come on, bust the slants, drum major intro, bring it on from the end zone, BCU, stack it up in the middle of the field, bust some slants, concert formation, you know. So, but what impressed me the most and my most memorable experience of the day was when BCU played Reunited. It was perfect timing. It was their homecoming. Alumni is in the audience, and they played that, and then the whole crowd was singing. It was just very, very impressive. And I would have to say, man, that there's not a lot of bands out there today that can outplay Cookman on a ballad, man. Their approach to ballads is just phenomenal. I mean, the way they pay attention to every detail, the crescendos, the balance. When they play that soft section, when those baritones is just singing, oh man, I make my skin crawl, you know. And that I just look forward to their ballads more so even than the 100, you know. And if you know anything about Fam, that's their bread and butter.
Yep.
You know, their sound, their concert selection. So, but I look forward these days to hearing Cookman's approach to a ballad as opposed to the 100. So, and that leads me to the Honda discussion, because I don't know, man. I don't know if they made the right call by not selecting Cookman for this year's Honda. You know, because you always say that. Well, I don't know if it's been said, but it's been understood that the Honda is supposed to be the best man, so to speak. And you ain't gonna find another band that's gonna be better top to bottom than the Wildcats. You know, when you actually adjudicating every single area, marching, music, dancing, projection, they're gonna check all the boxes. You know, and whether you like their song selection, whether you like the fact that they doing the same thing they did last time you saw them or not, you know it's going to be perfect. It's going to be balanced. It's going to sound good. It's going to be a good presentation. So I don't know if they made the right call on that, man, excluding the Wildcats. It's going to be interesting. Cookman has been, you know, closing out the performance the last few years since the 100's been MIA. So to me, this puts a lot of pressure on FAMU this year, because they're going to have to perform that closer show for the Honda. And if they don't live up to it, nobody's going to let them live it down, you know? So they're going to have to close it out. Or it may not even be Fam, you know? If you look at this, well, we'll get to that. But this Honda line is crucial. So it may not even be Fam selected to close out the show. So it's going to be very interesting. But out of the bands I saw, man, I was impressed with the Reunited. Shout out to Portier, and he wrote the heck out of that, and they always play the heck out of anything his pen touches. So mad love for that, man. I was impressed with Alcorn State. You might not like this part, Joe.
I'm giving you a round of applause. I'm positive.
To me, I looked at both halftime performances, and I'm old school. You know, I like the halftime. So before I listen to the fifth quarter, before I listen to the zero quarter, I listen to the clips of what happened at halftime. Because to me, the band who took that L at halftime is going to try to make up for it at the end of the day. So I looked at halftime, and to me, Alcorn took halftime. They had the better presentation, had the better show. I enjoyed their presentation better. The clips I saw of Southern, they didn't sound bad, but the sound and with the drill movements that they were doing, it wasn't as cohesive as they usually are. You know, some squads were flipping here or there, and the sound was, you know, certain sections were coming forward and other sections were going back. At certain moments where it should have been a big pop, it never came together, and Alcorn had those well-timed moments in their show, and that was I'm more impressed with. So I give halftime to them. I did see a clip of the Magic City Classic, and like you guys said, I wasn't impressed with those clips just yet. So I'm gonna reserve comment on who was the better band, but I did enjoy watching Alabama State do their march in. Somebody posted a clip of Alabama State marching in
30 minutes late.
Yeah, 30 minutes late. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was real late.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, man. They put on a show when they come in the stadium. I love that.
But they do that slow drag march. They always march like that. It take them forever. First of all, you late, but then it takes you forever. But
right.
I like that. I like that slow march.
and it was
Right.
It wasn't even nothing grooving. They were just swagged out. The whole band, man. I'm like, oh, okay, I see Alabama State.
Yeah, I
But
like that too. I like bands coming in late. That remind me of Mr. Gray. You know what I'm saying? That's just how you roll up in there and like right before halftime or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
you
So
know what? I used to do that too. In my younger days,
there you go.
out of school, we used to stay outside the stadium warming up. It'd be good into the middle of the first quarter before we come in.
That was the days before zero quarter. Them days before zero quarter. And everybody went to zero
Right,
quarter.
right.
Yeah,
Shoot, they were
Alabama
good back.
State. That that Alabama State march-in is so fire, and I think they
Yeah,
have the most. I think their drum major field entrance is fire too. I think they have one of the
yeah.
best drum major field
I like
entrances
that.
too. Other
Yeah.
than that, I don't have much more to say about them, but those two things
Yeah.
they definitely got those. They definitely got those two things.
I was impressed with the Alcorn drum majors too. I'm always impressed with them. But in the past they've been real, JSU like.
Oh, 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 oh,
But
oh, ladies and gentlemen, let's make a note of what Ernest said. They're JSU like, and go ahead. I'll piggyback on that later. Go ahead,
all
Ernest.
right. In the past, they've been more JSU like, but as the years have gone on, they're starting to kind of, mold the
For their
style a
own.
little to make it their own, and you can see that because you see some things that they do that JSU don't do, and it still looks good. So I appreciate the effort. I like a good DM squad, and they've always been tight. So shout out to
You know
Alcorn.
what? You know what I struggle a little bit when you just said that about their drum majors looking kind of a little bit like Jackson State.
Mhm.
I never really thought of it in that terms. And shout out because they have their head drum major is a young lady. I don't know her name, but shout out to her. So
Mhm.
Fangirls Rock, let's go. Give you a shout out. Um, but one of the things with Alcorn, they're not. To me, they don't have a signature something that kind of makes them them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hold on.
that that's one of my things. I don't know. You know how what do they call it? A brand. A brand.
Yeah,
Their dancers have a very clear brand, but as a band, I kind of struggle with their identity. I'm still trying to figure out who
Bridget,
Alcorn really is.
we're giving Joe too much fire. We're giving him too much ammo.
Don't fire
I
them up. They're
Right,
a good band. Don't take that as they're not a good band. They're a good
right.
band.
They
They're
are.
definitely a good band. But I sometimes I struggle with their identity a little bit.
all right. Oh yeah.
Joe over there, but Joe over there praising the Lord.
I mean, I'm just breathing, just trying to breathe. Um,
Joe about to go in. He's like, and up.
so I'm so glad you guys said that. The title of today's show is Bizarro State,
Who is
and
that?
I'm so glad you said it, Bridget, because it's essentially what you were just talking about.
Don't
Bizarro, if you
don't do
guys
that.
Google Bizarro, it's Bizarro. It was the evil Superman. So y'all know who Superman is, right? The white guy with the
Yes.
little thing, the widow's peak coming down. There's an evil guy, and his name is Bizarro, and he's just like Superman, but he's dark and he's like crazy, and he's got way more mental issues and stuff. So the comic it does well because when you have the Bizarro series, you got Superman, but you got this guy who people think Superman, and then it's like this self-identity thing. It's so deep. But Zorro is essentially Alcorn. That's who Alcorn is. That's why you feel that
Don't do
way,
that.
Bridget.
Alcorn, we don't believe like that. Don't Alcorn, we're sorry for Joe right now.
Well, I
Sorry.
mean,
We
see,
apologize.
but see, that's what people on the East Coast who don't really know the story. It's not a story thing. See, Alcorn knows it. Okay, one of their greatest band directors, Samuel Griffin. Shout out to him, R.I.P. He was in the band with my dad at Jackson State. So Alcorn is always going to have this inferiority thing where they look like us, just like Bizarro. You be like, hey, that's Jackson State. They sound good. Like, oh, that's Alcorn. See, that's their problem. So I'm glad the brother who hopefully is watching the show. I'm praying that you guys get your own identity because
Oh, Brian. I'm about to dial Brian
I
in.
mean, it's like a copy machine or a
Oh.
Xerox. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they just don't have their own identity. When they float the ASU, what that look like? That look like JSU. Okay? Everything they do is some type of what do you call it? What do you call the duplication is flattery, or whatever it is. That's what they need to get over. And I'm praying for them because they're good. They're a good band, but every time we see them, it's just like, Jesus, Lord, you look just like us. Can you get your own thing about yourself? You said it yourself, Bridget. You know what I'm saying? That's why they struggle.
But so someone in the chat room just said that Prof. Griffin was from Jackson State. I think part of it is that they have directors. They're one of the few SWAC schools that hire directors that are not necessarily from their program. So they may have had some things that's been implemented, just from the nature of the beast. We do what we know. As directors, band directors do what they've kind of grown up to do. If I went to Morgan, somebody went to FAMU, wherever, they're going to bring those styles naturally with them. So there may be some things that's kind of implemented. But I wouldn't go that hard on Alcorn.
I like no. That's no. It's no.
They sound good. And they look good. They did look good.
Yeah. They sound and look good. Because guess what? Jackson State sounds and look good. That's the whole issue. See, this is what I'm saying, Bridget. They just need their own identity. You know what I'm saying? They need to come up with their own thing and stop looking at it like this. My man Clover Lacey.
I'm about to put some.
He said they didn't float the ASU, Clover. I don't know like what band you seen, but I've seen ASU from Alcorn, and maybe you haven't seen it, but it looks just like the JSU. Okay, they just have to get their own brand. Bridget said it. I'm just repeating what Bridget said. They need to get their own thing.
But I did. You're taking my reference and making it something else.
I told you he was gonna do it.
Yeah, flip that thing around. Like, I want them to kind of have their distinct thing that makes them them. And they're not the only band that has that problem. Howard is classic. Oh my goodness, Howard swears. They're so classic, but they take.
Now, if I say Howard, oh no, it's not that bad, Bridget. You would then go in on me because you're from that area. You could do that.
But they had Southern directors, and literally they studied stuff Southern did. Like, they were doing the circle drill ever. Like, come on now, that's clearly Southern. But so no, that's different. I think that's different when you're like a direct duplicate of it. I don't see Alcorn as a direct duplicate. Yeah, I see some hints of stuff from that kind of look similar to other programs, and then. They got a staff of Southern directors now, some Southern University directors. So there are going to be some things that drilling concept is going to have the same thing because that's how they're taught. But I would love to see more bands have a distinct style that makes them them. Like when I think about a band with a brand, I think about like a Norfolk State. They have a clear brand, a clear style. Not every band has that. Family gets on my nerves, but they do have a brand. They have a style. Jackson State does have a style. I got to give it to them. They have stuff that makes them, and Southern has what makes them them. Grambling, as much as it looks like a 3-ring circus, that dancing, shaking, whatever, they have a clear brand. So Alcorn is I think they are kind of struggling a little bit with a clear brand of who they are, but I don't know if a lot of their legacy and traditions have been lost just because they've had directors from kind of all over the place. So I don't know where Murray is from, where he was from. They keep telling me. I forgot who Murray went to. Was he an Alcorn guy? Somebody can correct me. He might have been an Alcorn guy, but they've had directors from all over the place too. So, but it's not bad. Alcorn's a good band.
Yeah,
Joe, really I'm gonna give you a nugget. I would say, because if you think about what bands are the most imitated bands today, you would have to put Jackson State up there, at least in the top 2. Jackson State is one of the most imitated bands.
That's true.
There is, and it is not because I did a post a while ago about drum major styles, and it's really only 3 of them. And Jackson State's drum major style, because I did a poll, thousands of people voted, and the clear winner was Jackson State. So, yes, they have a unique drum major style that's imitated by a lot of college bands and a lot of high school bands. And and not just Jackson State. FAMU is imitated, and Southern, is highly imitated as well. But there are elements of the Jackson State's band that is, flattering, I guess, to other programs.
But you don't see the exact same thing like when you see Alcorn. See, like I think we all agree. See, this is the thing. Y'all being nice to them. We all agree. Y'all said it. Alcorn ain't got no brand. Y'all Bizarro State. And until y'all get one, y'all always gonna be that. Shout out to you, Clover. I'm from Mississippi too, brother. And that ASU, if you gonna sit up here and say it don't look like nothing like that JSU, brother, then you're not from Mississippi. Okay? So, anything else? Well, you know what? I just like the fact that they're better than what they were because it makes the rivalry better. Like that Capital City Classic back in the day was serious. So that makes it better. And I remember in '95, Alcorn was so big, they made ASU and JSU on the field at the same time. So I was like, see, there you go. See, now you working with something here. But since then,
Alcorn they had big years in the '90s.
They did. They really did. So I liked it, and I even liked in their show they did the S, and then they made a question mark.
The question mark. Yeah, that was dope.
There you go.
Yeah, that was nice.
Follow that. Follow stuff. Do that. Okay. Because the other thing, I mean, y'all probably, I guess y'all like their drum majors, but no, come on now, let's be serious. Y'all all right, but I think they sound good, and in the stands, the fifth quarter was really, really impressive. Like I like the back and forth between them, because I mean they sound good, but y'all Alcorn ain't got no brand. As much as we talk about Grambling, and Bridget said it already, we might not like it, but that's what they do. And we may complain about it, but that's what they do. And they not tripping off us. Alcorn, find something that y'all ain't got to trip off of. And I promise you, y'all start winning some of these halftime shows. Round of applause for what is it?
But he gave
I gave win.
Halftime.
You say what now, Bridget?
We both gave Alcorn halftime.
Over Southern? Oh, well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for me.
Southern didn't care about that show. You can tell they wanted to get in the stands to blow.
See, why are we? You guys see, we're all agreeing. It's just different. Y'all said Southern didn't get up for Alcorn, and why is that? Cause it's Alcorn. Round of applause, Southern. Y'all knew better.
But I don't like how Alcorn is kind of shafted. And it's mainly, I think, because of their location. They deep down in that. I guess that's the Delta, whatever the heck they call that. They deep down in that Mississippi area. But they get shafted, and they really are a solid band. Like I wouldn't mind seeing Alcorn at Honda, or because they're solid. They represent when they go someplace. They represent. They had a little glitch at the Celebration Bowl last year, but who doesn't have a glitchy show here and there? But they're really a solid band, for real. Ernest, he's about to bust out laughing when I said that.
You made me remember that.
Yeah, they had that little glitch. That we can't forget that little glitch. But for the most part, they're really one of the solid SWAC bands. Last season, they gave Southern all that they can handle. They gave them a clear. They bring it. So. We can't even go there on.
That's all right.
But I understand that Mississippi rivalry between Jackson State and Alcorn. I get it.
I just want them to be more of themselves. That's all I'm saying, because they look just like us. I mean, in everything they do. Clover, he said that they ain't never floated. I guess when you say float, they make the letters and then you march it across the field. I guess that's what you mean by float. Okay. Yeah. So maybe they've never marched across the field, so everyone sees how much the ASU looks like the JSU. But yeah, brother, my point is the ASU looks like the JSU. They look too much like Jackson State. We need them because they already sound dope. We need them to come up with their own thing. We need to come, if they the Braves, then go out there and make some Indian reservations or something. I mean, do something. Do something different.
Right? Indian reservations? First of all, you said Indian, not Native American.
I know. Joe has offended everybody on this podcast.
I'm trying to tell you.
My bad. If
We're
I
gonna get a
said something
Title
bad
IX
about
lawsuit or
Indians,
something Sula would have.
my
They're
bad.
Native Americans,
Native
Joe. They're Native
Americans,
Americans.
yes, Native Americans. Now
Oh
the
my
one thing I'm
God.
crunk about is they did do I think the Air McNair. They did do the tribute the Air McNair. So yes, he's
Oh
my
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
favorite.
that was dope.
Right. So I grew up with Steve McNair. So he is my like
Yeah,
favorite college. So I gotta give him that, right? So I'm
yeah.
just saying I wish there was much more of a difference between Jackson State and Alcorn. And it's not like Alcorn can't do it, but it's way too close. That's all I'm saying. Y'all agree? Because Southern didn't get up for him, and Bridget, we need a brand. So we'll help them, Bridget. We gonna give them a brand. All right.
Well, you know what? No, I don't know what's up with Southern this year because they had been getting up for a lot of people.
They
They
putting
ain't
on
got
the
up for
boombox. The boombox, Ernest, because they know the boom is cooking right now, and they like, hey, we getting our stuff together. So the boombox will probably be off the hook this year, y'all. We are excited about it. But yeah, they ain't getting up for nobody. Why would you? You know what I'm saying? We know what they can do. All right. So I'll leave Alcorn alone. All right. Unless someone else says something else. All right. Then the only other thing is Bethune. Again, I agree with you again, Bridget. Very predictable, but the BCU, oh, come on, booze. That is unacceptable for that band to be that good and to have that 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 basic BCU. Like, I think they could do something better with that. Like, maybe have some borders around it, but having a huge like just BCU like that, I think it's kind of ugly. I think they could do better. You know what I'm saying? They have no reason to not do something better with drill or something exciting for a BCU. You know what I'm saying?
I
Uh,
don't know, but when you hear that tone, ho, 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 ho,
oh,
I don't care about the letters. I'm singing, let's go. I'm
yeah, I
trying
like
to
that
tell you,
song
I
too.
get that joint turns you right up. So them letters don't even matter to me.
I
Let's go
just
Wildcats is the only thing I get turned up for with that band.
I just wish that I wish they did something more with that BCU. You know what I'm saying? I think that's below them when I see it. It's like, man, y'all could do way better than that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and then I saw South Carolina State. I like South Carolina State, but I'm still getting used to the numbers, Ernest. Like when I see
Yeah.
them. Okay, so
Yeah.
so so ooh, okay, so check this out. Fam, South Carolina State, little rivalry, right? But you
Hmm.
wouldn't be saying South Carolina State is biting off of Fam because they had their own style. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
But,
with the
but
Sargent
but you know
brothers and
what?
all of that. But it's not the
But
same with Jackson State and Alcorn to me.
there is a similarity between Fam and Bethune Cookman. Because you know the
Cookman.
history with Fam and Bethune Cookman. Cookman what has not always been the band that they are today. So 30 years ago, they were a totally different group,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow a light got switched on us in '98, but they became this band. But they borrowed a whole lot from the 100. You know, if you go back and look at the way they were to what they do now, you can see that influence. From all those years of battling Fam, when FAMU was at their strongest, they borrowed a lot from Fam, and they took that and they made it their own. Even their drum major stole some Jackson State stuff too, but and made it their own. But they kind of created their own little thing now. But if you go back to the beginning, you can see all the similarities of what happened, how they became the Wildcats.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
it's
it's
really
and it's cool. Like it's I guess I always see I guess Bethune as themselves. Like I do see them trying to like come up because Fam is they've been there for a while, but I still think they have their own thing. You know what I mean?
if you go back to even the announcers, if you go back
Yes.
to the way that they announced, he announced just like Joe Bullock. Like Joe has a unique announcing style, which is he does not get excited. Everything is monotone. The 100 is here. That's how Bethune Cookman announces. As
Yeah.
a matter of fact, every MEAC band announcer announces like that because FAMU has that influence. But if you go to the SWAC, get up for the blah blah blah. You fine tune your sensory apparatus.
Don't get me too excited.
They get close to the swag. But in the MEAC, the announcers are mellow tone and cool, and that all comes from fam. So the way the drum majors march, in the MEAC, there's no bounce, and that's marching style. You lift your legs up, you don't bounce with it. In the swag, all the drum majors bounce except for Southern. You know. So those little things I pay attention to. You know, those little style things that create a style. You know. So Cookman stole a lot from fam in the early days. Now they molded it and made it into their own style now, but it derives from the 100.
That's what's up. Bridget, I see you saying over there, Bridget, you ain't had nothing because I see my mom's in the chat room. Shout out to her.
Yes.
Always
Now,
dogging Jackson State.
We've been waiting on Mom Baby to come get her son together. Come on here, Mom Baby. Welcome. Welcome.
Them Spelman women, boy, let me tell you. Boy, they just don't, but they ain't got no band. So, you know what I'm saying? Spelman ain't got no band, man. But you know.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying.
They are a part of our house band, so don't you dare do that to Spelman. Shout out to Spelman. I went to an all-female, the oldest all-female public high school in the country, Western Senior High School. So I have much love for Spelman, which is an all-female college.
Okay, so I gotta take that back. I gotta take the L on that one. You are right. They do march with Morehouse. So round of applause.
Man. I got you, Mama Bed. We're not gonna let him act like this.
We are talking about Jackson State, though, so you know what I'm saying. But I digress. So I think that we all agree in that segment. Alcorn needs a brand. BCU was hella predictable. We are all pulling for South Carolina State, and who was the other band we saw? Oh, we were all crunk about Alabama State coming in late. So we all agree. We all agree, Bridget. Round of applause for us.
For the most part.
For the most part. You left out the whole Alcorn State conversation, but we'll go ahead.
Hey, man.
Absolutely. Alcorn State, go ahead with it. Take your W and be proud. Take your W. Don't listen to him. Take your halftime W. Take your fifth quarter W. Southern gets the 0 quarter, but we're not gonna pay Joe no mind right. We're not gonna pay Joe no mind right now.
That's all right. That's all right. And shout out to the people in the chat room. I think Michael Corbin. Do Norfolk? Are you talking about Norfolk State's drum majors? Do they bounce? Is that what he's saying?
No, they don't
bounce.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Oh, I think he's talking about the announcer. I think. Okay.
Oh.
He's talking about the announcer. My bad, Michael Corbin. He said that A&T's announcers talk too much. That's what he said. And A&T announcers still be mentioning drum lines. So I think that's
drum lines. Oh my God.
I think they're still trying to making people think they're Atlanta A&T. Still in there.
Right. That's what he said. But yeah, I think he's talking about in response to Ernest is talking about the even tone, the announcers and the MEAC.
It's very you can pick it up quick.
Yeah, and I like it. I've always liked it when the guy says, it's in HD or something like that. I like that. I like that. That's cool.
From the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee.
That's tight. That is tight. You got to give it to her. All right, y'all. So if there's no more with that, we all agree on the last segment. And we can go to the next segment and talk about the Honda lineup. So it's been announced. Shout out to Christy. Word, She said, I am doing the most today. Okay. I'm sorry, Christy. It just make, when Alcorn, that rivalry. Does A&T have a rivalry, Bridget? Like who?
Yes, Carolina State. We always hated A&T. They always hated us. And I feel you, Joe, on the imitation tip. Because in the 90s, they used to imitate the one-on-one down to our spats.
Look at that. So we're all 90s marchers. So that means that Christy and them was trying to copy off Ernest and them. That's what we just tried.
That's right. That's right. That's fact.
I feel like A&T rivalry have shifted a little bit now to Norfolk though, since SC State's band has kind of, been going through something. Then I kind of feel like it's it switched to and I think A&T gets up for Norfolk now. Norfolk gets up for A&T. But back in the day, yeah, it definitely was South Carolina State. Huh?
They always had something with Central too.
Oh yeah. The Aggie Eagle thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So shout out to the guy Michael Corbin. That's Scarfinger Hood Rich. Let me give you a shout out. That's like my favorite name. Scarfinger Hood Rich. And he let me know, I think we had the same birthday. So we both twins, man. That's how, you know what I'm saying? That's why we understand, got that ingenuity going on. So shout out to Michael Corbin, a.k.a. Scarfinger Hood Rich. Love that name. Christy said the A&T Central is the real rivalry. So the I guess that the Aggie Eagle Classic, as they call it, it's just Central. I don't know. Has Central's band ever been like where A&T is right now? And I'm just asking. I'm not going like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. During the Joram Reed era, they were highly acclaimed at one point. You know, they marched in the Rose Parade.
Okay. Yeah. See. So yeah. I mean, I just not really familiar with Central, but yeah, definitely. I appreciate that, Christy, about the rivalry. So I wonder if I
And
dig in any
Christy, don't forget about the battle at the border now. South Carolina State, North Carolina A&T. We used to meet up in Charlotte every year.
Oh, that's right. I went to a couple
Battle
of
at the
those.
border.
And y'all
Yep.
had the Skinner men battle back and
That's
forth that
right.
year. I think it was
That's right.
96. I think I was
Yep.
there because I was at
Yep.
Smith. So I just went to
Yep.
Memorial Stadium, and that was fun. Seeing y'all going back and forth playing Skinner men, that was actually pretty dope. And in fact, I don't even think the crowd was watching the football game when it was going on. Everybody was
It
in the
was dope.
stands.
And we even played a march together. We tried to play time our march to play it together from across the field. We went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good little. We had a good rivalry though back in the '90s, man.
Yeah.
It was a healthy rivalry. We hated them. Need a little hate to breed a good rivalry.
Right. 90s was the bomb, y'all. I know we far away, but round of applause for the 90s.
Right.
Absolutely.
And our music is better than what it is now. But on my bad, I'm talking about something else. So are we cool? Any more matchups that we want to talk about? We can go to the last segment and talk about the Honda.
Yep. Let's go talk about the Honda.
All right, let's talk about the Honda.
Yeah.
Let's go. Y'all can mute your microphones. We all agree. Me and Bridget agree. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yes, we do, Bridget. Don't say that. All right, y'all. Let's go to the commercial, and we'll be back to talk about the last segment. Thanks for listening.
Your host, Joe Beard, and the 90 Degree Show will return in a moment.
Hello, everyone. This is Joe Beard from the Marching Podcast. Is your school, club, or organization looking for high-quality decorated apparel to outfit your students, staff, club, or team? Tired of the same old boring white t-shirt? Are you in charge of the upcoming fundraiser or special event, but don't really have time to troll the internet for ideas or compare products? SAY can help with design and product selection. We can even assist with ideas on conducting an effective fundraising program. SAY can help you save time and get your message heard. So call 1-800-975-3156. SAY Marketing and Promotions.
Give your brand a voice.
If you're thinking about buying or selling real estate in the Southern California area, please contact Kevin Peete of Remax Patriots. He will meet and exceed all of your needs. You can contact Kevin at 951-858-5942. That's 951-858-5942. Or you can email Kevin at kpsaleshomes@sbcglobal.net. That's KP, his initials, Kevin Peete, KP Sales Homes, all one word, at sbcglobal.net. Thanks again.
You want the best barbecue around? Smokee O's coming to your town. Ribs, chopped beef, baked potatoes too. Smokios know what's good for you. You want the best barbecue around. Smokios coming to your town. Ribs, chopped beef, baked potatoes too. Smokios know what's good for you. Smokios, come check us out.
And now, more of the 90 Degree Show with your host, Joe Beard.
All right, you guys can unmute your microphone. We're back. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Shout out to everybody for listening. All right, we back. All right, y'all. Boy, they going in the chat room, boy. Just anything to mess with my blood pressure. All right.
That's because you started it. You didn't start.
No, I didn't. That was Alcorn starting their band like that back in the day. I didn't have nothing to do with that. I was born, Bridget. You know what I'm saying? Don't put it on me. All right, y'all. All right. So we're back. And let's talk about the bands that were selected for the Honda.
Hold up. Before we get into the Honda, let me say one more thing.
Okay, bet.
Shout out to my Niners, baby. It's halftime. We up 27-3. 27-3. We on the
Niners. And you know what? I was
hoping for that straight tailgating.
I'm
got his
really,
red solo cup. He got the red solo cup.
You about to make me choke.
Hey, but you know what though, Ernest? I'm excited because, as you know, Cam Newton's hurt, and they got the other guy,
Yeah, the new guy,
Wonder Boy. He's undefeated.
They're 4-0 with him.
4-0 with him.
First L today.
First L. And wait, Ernest. What about Christian McCaffrey? Now, see, for all the sports people, real quick tangent. Running backs, quote unquote, are becoming devalued. What they're saying is they need less black faces as the franchise of the team. So you focus on the quarterback, right? Now Christian McCaffrey, oh my God, he's an MVP candidate. Ernest, he's the greatest thing I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Christian McCaffrey, boy, I don't even want to go into
politics, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but so shout out to the Niners. So let's go ahead and get into the last segment. JSU copied Southern, Clover Lacey. JSU invented the quarter note when they cut a song off early one game. Major pay. Shout out to all y'all.
They're so stupid. They're so stupid. They're going ham in there. They're going ham in the chat room.
That's all good. Because guess who we about to talk about? We about to talk about Jackson State and the Honda, and ain't y'all school ain't in it. So round of applause for that.
Oh, he's throwing all kind of shade today. He's throwing all kind of shade.
Alcorn does it, man. I need to work on it. I had a therapist meeting on next week, so we'll work on it. So the bands, let's see here, that are announced, and I'm actually excited about this because I've always wanted to see A&T, Jackson State, and FAM somewhere. Or I guess the major programs or prestige, I've always wanted us to see us all be in one setting. Because I don't think I've seen it. I was at a Jackson State A&T game in Atlanta, I think in 99, and that was fun. We were supposed to, we marched FAM in 98. We marched FAM, and that's how I met, shout out to John Lennard, the director at Tuskegee. So all of those matchups are always fun and exciting to see. So I wanted to get you guys' take about the bands that were selected, because we kind of talked about the marketing and a little bit of the money last week. I want to find out what you guys think, and then because you guys have actually adjudicated who you think will have a memorable performance. Not who you think will be better, okay, but who you think is going to have something exciting, all right? So, Bridget, let me see, I'm going to pull it up, the actual lineup here. The one of y'all got the lineup?
Yeah, I got it up.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Ernest. What's the lineup, and what you think, Ernest?
All right, so you got Benedict College, Florida A&M University, Grambling State University, Hampton University, Jackson State University, North Carolina A&T, Prairie View A&M, and Tennessee State.
Oh, Tennessee
So,
State's on there. Okay.
yeah. So you know what, and that's why this Honda to me is going to be unpredictable because you got two wild cards in there. You know what the 100 is going to do pretty much. You pretty much know what they're going to do. They're going to wow the audience with something. If they're the 100, they're going to do something crazy doing the drill. They're going to have the bomb concert selection. They're going to dance their behinds off. And then they're going to do something crazy at the end of the dance routine to sell it for the end of the show. All right, that's the 100 show. Now, the two wild cards, in my opinion, is going to be Prairie View and Tennessee State. Because Prairie View has had a strong year this year. Really, the last 3 years, Prairie View has been solid on the field and in the stand. But this year, specifically, they've been real solid all the way around, man. And Tennessee State is always solid. So, they just get forgotten about because they're not in the SWAC or the MEAC. So they're the outliers.
And because they don't have KK sign TBS. I keep telling y'all that.
Wow.
Yeah, y'all gonna believe me. Y'all don't believe me. That's a big fact. That's a big fact though. Y'all don't believe. That's a big fact too. If they had chapters, we'll be checking for them.
That's crazy. I didn't even realize that. But yeah, they keep getting forgotten about, but they are a strong program. I think, well, it all depends on who they choose to close it out. In the past, they used to choose the biggest band. Like, Fam and Cookman used to be like the last two back in the day. Then it became just Cookman when Fam, got in trouble. But if they go by those standards, then it's going to be like who? It's going to be Prairie View and Jackson State. Just closing it out. You know what I mean? So my top three is going to be Jackson State, Prairie View. That third one is up in the air. It's between A&T and the 100.
And we saw some of Benedict. We talked about Benedict some this year, right? I need to go back through.
We did. We talked about them a whole lot.
Yeah, Band of Distinction. Yeah, I want to go back through.
Yeah, they had a solid year.
Okay.
But it's a lot of good things.
Ernest Christie said, "My fingers start itching when Ernest starts spreading lies and foolishness and fallacies about me."
So let's give a round of applause. Let me say, while everyone else is going in on me, the Reverend Doctor is fired up in here. People don't know Christy. I done seen Christy name come up a lot over here, and yeah, definitely. So Christy Walker, she going on me and Ernest. You know what I'm saying?
All facts.
Honestly, because on air you said, Joe, that you gave her something for your spot in the Honda Suite.
No. Wait. You weren't supposed to say
Dr. Christie.
No, you were supposed to wait till I did that, Bridget. You weren't supposed to do that. That's a
You can boo all you want to. He like the little kid about to get a beating, scared.
Yeah, and then she gonna say, why Joe talking like he gonna be at the Honda? Hold up, speak it into existence, Christy Walker. Hold on now. Come on now. Don't do me like that.
I was trying to save Joe's spot. Joe letting the booth get sold out.
Is it?
Yeah, the first one is sold out.
The first one sold out. I was trying to hold you a spot.
That's all right. I know somebody at the stadium. So I think I might, I might be in my own press box over there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let y'all come in. I'm gonna come in on mine.
Christy says she's checking her inbox from emails from Joe. She sees nothing but tumbleweeds.
No, Christy, no. That's all right. Christy deserves a little Coming to America drum kick right there. That's all right. So yeah. So straight up though. I'm gonna be there, and cause Jackson State there. Like last time Jackson State was there, even Rashad and everybody else and their mama said that Jackson State won. So I gotta be there to bask in the glory this time, because
to bathe in it.
bathe. I mean, cause I'm sure it's gonna be exciting, but A&T. I'm always worried about them because they have like the best halftime shows. Like they
Yeah.
have great shows overall. So I'm scared that they gonna have a dude. I remember one year they had a dude flying, spinning over somebody, like they had, or like they had a guy spinning. I mean, it was pretty raw. So I'm worried about them. Yeah, I'm not sure about Hampton. I think Hampton's riding a good wave. I think Brother Jones is doing well as far as putting the program out there. And I think Grambling is there because, and not just bad, but I think with the female director, I think they want to put them out there and get them out there.
It's a lot of excitement building on them this year. Yeah.
Yeah. So get them out there. I'm always excited about FAM because I'm hoping they play some marches. I hope there's maybe a little fifth section and maybe FAM will play about 10 marches. So that'll be exciting. I gotta go back through. I gotta go. Don't say that, Bridget. And I gotta go back.
They don't have no fifth quarter at the Honda.
Don't they play in the stands like for a second?
No.
They don't do nothing in the stands. The DJ takes over in the stands. Yeah.
See, that's dumb. That's just dumb. Why would you do that? Okay, you got a DJ. You got you got the best bands in the country. What you got a DJ for? Okay, I don't even want to go because this has been a bad week. All right, so. Yeah, I mean, y'all know the Boom probably gonna show up, but it's really between the Boom, A&T, and what FAM gonna do. We don't know what FAM gonna do.
That's what I said. Don't sleep on Prairie View now, because
their drum section's good, right? They'll show up,
and they're gonna have some power. They're gonna have some sound. They're gonna fill up that dome.
That's true.
And the dome, like I don't know if you never been to a Honda, but the dome, like the bands that hit them with that big sound. That's why the SWAC bands always do good at the Honda, because they have that big sound off the field. And Prairie View is gonna hit them. With that Monday night. Dun, 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 dun,
oh, I love that. Oh man,
that's gonna light it up.
Oh man, round of applause for that. That is up there with Tiger Run On and Miles' Neck intro. Like the greatest intros right now on the streets, and Prairie View up there. What's that? Entertainment Tonight or something?
Yeah, Entertainment Tonight. Yeah,
boy, I love that boy. And then they bring
it down.
That too. Oh yeah, that's tight. Yeah. That's tight. And then Tennessee State. Go ahead, Bridget. What you about to say?
No, go ahead. I'll wait till you're done yours, then I'll do mine. Go ahead.
Well, the last thing I was gonna say was Tennessee State. I mean, I don't know, man. I love Tennessee State, but y'all got to get out that conference, man. I'm sorry. Shout out to Brother Chisholm. I don't know if you in there or not, but Brother Chisholm left y'all cause y'all couldn't be in that conference. So if Brother Chisholm leave y'all need to reassess that. All right, and that's no shade. It's just Tennessee State needs to start playing a consistent lineup, or either start showing up at more Crankfest or something. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, last year it did a lot of Battle of the Bands and stuff last year, but this year they've been kind of off the radar.
Man, and they're a good band. That's what I hate.
Yeah,
they're a top tier program. All right.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people even say that they were the ones that like originated all the animations on the field, as far as like HBO, and it wasn't FAM. Like I've heard people say that. So they're a great program, and they're in Music City, So yeah, we got other stuff to say about that. All right, Bridget. I think I'm done. But I'm excited to see about what's gonna happen. With A&T, Jackson State, and FAM. I want to know who's going to have a better show. But I feel in my gut it's going to be A&T. You know what I'm saying? Because they just had great shows, man. What you think, Bridget?
So I'm going to shake up a little bit what y'all. I'm going to shake it up a little bit what y'all said. First of all, when we talked last week about who was being selected or whatever, and I talked about are they going to move based upon money or based upon whatever. We knew it wasn't going to be based upon voting. Then they definitely moved on money. Like, for real, Honda lost money not having it last year and then sending the percussion people out to the Rose Bowl. So this is all about money. These are all these schools, minus Benedict because they're new, are their top ticket selling schools. So A&T all of them bring the crowd, and they sell them sections out. And that's what they really, really needed. Tennessee State and FAM, you have a huge house in Atlanta. They have a huge house in Atlanta. So when I was talking last week on air, and I talked about are they going to move based upon money, or is it, and it's still part of that good old boy system. They definitely they did that lineup based upon money. Grambling's going to bring a crowd. And the lineup really isn't that bad. I'm glad to see the rotation of Benedict and Hampton don't belong there, but they're ticket selling school. They sold their section out and was looking for more tickets last year. I remember it was something between whatever. But I feel some kind of way, and I'm going to go ahead and call this out. I remember, and Christy she bears my witness in August. Thomas Jones posted that Hampton was going to Honda. Yes, I'm putting it out there. He put it on Facebook, so it's no secret. He put it out there at the end of August when they scheduled that they were going, and we both was like, "Did you see that?" And so I feel some kind of way like Honda needs to stop the shenanigans. If it's not about voting, then just say it's not about voting, and it's just an invitational band festival, whatever you want to call it, invitational showcase. It's funny, Ernest, that you said that it was, it's the top bands. Band heads have made it about being the top band. But it's never really been that for Honda. From the jump, they were kind of like, they started off with 2 bands from each conference representing the most votes. It's like a popularity contest. Then all of a sudden it became, the band thing. But it never, to me, has been about the best bands. It's about those who bring that crowd and who bringing that money up in there. So when we talk about who's going to kind of be standout bands, let me tell you, so when it comes to the Aggies work my nerves, they really do. But when it comes to show planning, they always have a solid, really good show, and they're not going to disappoint. And so I look forward to seeing what they're going to bring to the table. FAMU is going to be the closeout band. That's not even a discussion. It's going to be FAMU. As a matter of fact, the last 3 bands I would call Prairie View, Tennessee State, and FAMU. I would call it probably in that order. Or close to it, or it might be Tennessee State, Prairie View, then FAMU. But FAMU definitely gonna close out. It's either Cookman and FAMU did that flip flop for years on who's gonna do what. So we know Grambling is there, and I called it out last week. I was like, they're gonna invite Grambling because of the way that they're riding on the female band director. FAMU just came off the Rose Bowl this year, so they're riding the wave, and the female drum major thing got a huge whatever. So I figured that they were going to kind of get invited, but believe it or not, I think they're going to draw the excitement because they have a crowd. They're going to bring a crowd, but I don't think FAMU's going to have the best show. I don't. I actually think Tennessee State's going to have a better show than them. I look forward to Tennessee State. Tennessee State is solid. Like, people discredit them, but Tennessee State sounds good, and they always bring a great show to Honda.
They do.
I believe Tennessee State and Jackson State are gonna tear the house down. Like, that's me. Those are the 2 bands I look forward the most to seeing. I think they're gonna be really solid. If I had to put a 3rd band in there that's gonna kind of wow everybody, I would say. But sometimes A&T show go over people's head. Like, people think they do too much, but I would say A&T would be the one. On the big stage, Prairie View usually doesn't do well to me. And they always throw in the percussion thing to try to do that little gimmick. Like, somebody's going to hold the bass drum up on their back, roll the dude over their back. But on the big stage, for me, Prairie View just usually doesn't hold a candle to the other bands. Who did I miss in that? Did I miss anybody in that rotation?
Benedict.
Go ahead.
What you think about Benedict?
They're going to be okay. Yeah, so Hampton will be first and Benedict will be second, probably, or either or, Benedict and Hampton. And Benedict will they'll put together a nice presentation, but Benedict also, you have to realize that their band director has been to Honda before. Honda people know who their band director is. When he was at Dell State, they went. So come on now. It's all about connections. Like, people need to know that we know what we talk about when they talk about these connections. And then all the Alabama bands got shafted, and some of them were told that they got shafted because they did the Alabama Battle of the Band things. That's messed up, Honda. Like, for real.
Wow.
I'm confused.
We need to stop playing this game.
So I heard that too. And shout out to Eddie, because I hadn't heard like what Eddie, or he had like a response to anything like that. But why would that hurt? Why would them doing that hurt their chances of getting into Honda? I don't understand.
Well, because one is that becomes a competitor's event. That's number one. Yeah. That becomes a competitive event. And so Honda, they want to share. They want to share the wealth or whatever. No, he had a big drawing factor. He had popularity. He did a great job with the event, and it's so close to their event. I think that's one of the biggest. I think that was one of the biggest factors. So it's a shame. It would have been nice to see an Alabama band in there. They have like 5 or 6 bands right there in Alabama, and it's so close by.
Right.
I don't know how they do with ticket sales. I don't know how the Alabama bands do with ticket sales, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So
I'm surprised they're so close that none of them got selected. That's it has to be something with that, man.
Or like
could have been there at least.
and like Bridget's saying, maybe this.
They were told. Some of the directors were told why they weren't selected, allegedly. And I have that on some strong words. Allegedly, they were told why. So it is what it is. Like, and honestly, I would boycott it if I was Alabama fans. I'd be like, "Oh, that's how we want to roll." Then I would go to other events and be like, "Forget you, Honda. If that's how you're gonna do me, then later on, don't call me later."
And that's really, I mean, catastrophic. Well, not catastrophic, but it's really bad as far as politics too. Like, why would you be hating on those bands if they want to participate in something else that's not yours? You know what I mean? That's I don't know. That seems like they're trying to build something that's not even there. Because definitely, I think Eddie was, or even like with Crankfest, people just trying to like make some money so they can give back to the program. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, wow, that's kind of unfortunate. To hear that, and allegedly,
but that's business. But that's business though. Honda is a business corporation. It's Honda. It's a business corporation. It's not a band corporation. They're about business first, and that's what this whole battle of the band thing. They can mask this as, oh, we give it back to the community and blah 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 blah. We support HBCUs. This is about business. Once again, someone has figured out how to take our craft and make money off of it. And we have to realize that, like, we have so many great things as African American people, and we never can market our own stuff in order to get our thing moving. It always has to be somebody from the outside that comes to, oh, look at that, and come pimp us, basically. And so Honda has figured out how to have it. We're all excited about it. But then there's a minority now in the game who's trying to do something a little bit different. So, it's business. It's business antics.
Yeah, that's I don't know, man. That's unfortunate, but yeah, I guess so. So you think Tennessee State and Jackson State are gonna do something memorable? Ernest, who you think? What was like the most memorable thing you think somebody's gonna do?
I think, just off of past precedents, the SWAC bands are gonna show out, and you got what, 3 of them? Is there 3 SWAC bands in here?
Yeah,
there's always They're gonna wow the crowd the most, and it's gonna be specifically just because they're gonna sound louder.
Right.
and that's what the dome appreciates, because you got to fill that dome up, especially when you facing one side and that side is just getting all your sound, and the microphones are shooting the sound to the other side. But if you filling that dome up, they're getting your sound from this side and that side, so it makes you sound bigger, and that's what usually happens to those bands that's really bringing that heat. They just sound real huge in the dome, and it's going to be, to me, Jackson State is going to be the band for everybody to kind of knock down. I think they're going to take it.
They're solid. They're solid. Yeah. Jackson State just solid.
Yeah.
I wish I went to that school because their band is really good.
Man, what else?
I wish you did too. I think who's gonna be the shock? I think the shocker band. I think who's gonna be the shocker band is Grambling. I think Grambling's gonna be the shocker band. I think that's gonna be the band that everybody's like, what was that, Grambling? I think they're gonna be the shocker in sound and everything else. I think that's gonna be the.
I would love for that to happen.
Yeah, because they're having a year and they're not on anybody's radar. And they're having a great year.
Right.
They really are.
Right. Yeah. Right. Cause I'm telling you right now, I'm sleeping on Grambling, Hampton. Who else? I'm sleeping on this right now. Grambling and Hampton. Yeah. So they got the opportunity to come up and just knock my socks off. Because I'm like, to me, they're not going to do nothing against these formidable opponents that they're up against. I mean, it's a solid list. I think this is probably one of the better lists when you look at the totality of it. Yeah, some bands got shot. Pretty good list. Yeah, and there's some people that should not be on there, but the ones that they do have that should be there are solid. So I'm like, it's gonna be a good show.
I'm pulling for Benedict to do a little something, maybe, just because me with the small bands.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for them to say something. But shout out to the chat room. Okay, so it's okay to say what you want with the language. I'm not gonna repeat it or anything like that. So yeah, y'all in there going in with the language, it's all good. You ain't gotta apologize, all right? Especially when Bridget started talking about our people and us making money off of it. Everybody got mad about that. So yeah, it's all good. Y'all can vent in the chat room. I'm not gonna put you out there, all right? So that's number one.
We can clean it up and kind of say the
Yeah,
comment.
of
So somebody
course.
said Honda, pretty much Honda, not crap. Let me
Right.
say, they said the HBCU consortium needs its own battle of the bands, and that's definitely a thought if we
I'm
could figure it
wondering
out.
why
At
that
one
hasn't
point,
happened yet.
well, you remember, I don't know if Ernest, you remember that one did kind of happen, and it was happening at Norfolk State when O'Neill was there.
Okay.
They would have
Oh
a battle
yes,
of bands there.
I remember that. I remember
But
that.
there was some
I actually went there. I
inconsistencies with
drove up there.
yeah, there were some inconsistencies with the finances. And I know the last event, I don't think everybody got paid, and some things kind of happened, and people started moving jobs, and it never happened anymore. But it was really a great event that we were running. It was actually a great event. So that's
I
actually
remember it.
that's
It actually, I think the same event came to South Carolina State. Uh, Eddie Ellis hosted a band event at State, a battle of the bands, so to speak, one year. But it only happened one year. But everybody was there. Norfolk, A&T, and a few other bands were there. I think it was the same event that was at Norfolk. They kind of just was they had planned to take it to each school, and it just never took off. But I do remember that.
Uh, uh, shout, shout out to Major
Battle Fest.
Pay.
Yeah.
Major Pay said, "I'm gonna have my hologram at the Honda like Tupac." That's funny, Major Pay. That's all right. I'm trying to be there in for real life though. In real life though, real talk. And then somebody who said, "Oh, Lord, Michael Corbin, Scarfinger." He said, with no stand battle, JSU will suffer. All they have is sound. Brother, we are the dopest drilling machine in the galaxy. Somebody holler at me. And we can have some debates, because I'll say, oh, maybe it's Southern, or maybe Ohio State. But, brother, Jackson State is a drill master. And our drills have been off the hook this year. Off the hook drills, round of applause, Jackson State. So yeah, we ain't worried about it. And I always follow Bridget's opinion anyway. She said that she can't wait to see Jackson State. All right, so yeah, y'all can't say nothing because Bridget said it. All right.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But yeah, shout out to the chat room. I don't know, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm starting to get mad about this Alabama thing now. It's like it's starting to like filter in my head a little bit. Wow. Okay, so yeah, I ain't gonna do that. So let me calm down. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think that we got oh yeah, defeat the beat. I know the Rogers
Oh,
brothers talked about that on my interview with them. I think that was something that actually got them into bands. Was the Sprite? Was it the Sprite defeat the beat?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that was dope.
right.
That was like the first thing that was kicking off the year every year in Charlotte. Yeah,
I don't remember that.
you don't remember that, Bridget? That was
We were
dope.
older. I think we were older, cause
Uh,
well, I mean, cause Brandon and them said like that was them first. So we probably were just graduating. We were all
Yeah.
like
finished.
2001,
Right.
2002, I
Yeah,
think.
we were all out. We were all pretty much finished.
Okay.
Yeah. So we might
Hey, I
not have
remember
seen that.
Battle Fest. They put the one hosted by the consortium was called Battle Fest. That was actually a good battle
Yeah,
too.
Battle Fest. Yeah, I went to that. Yeah, I think the one. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Hold on. Let me get my little closing music here. Let me. I got a new song today, y'all. All right. Let's see if y'all like it. Oh yeah, y'all know about that Big Sean from Detroit, boy. All right, y'all. So we have come to our conclusion of our show. Oh, hold up. Can y'all hear that? I'm still messing with this MP3 player, and I'm hoping that eventually, I'm probably just gonna have to start doing the sounds through this. You know what I'm saying? So that'll work. So, as we close out the show, Bridget, is there anything you looking forward to this week? And any final shout outs before we wrap this thing up today? It's been a great show. A great round of applause for the show today. So, Bridget, how are you feeling and what's going on with you this week?
It's been a great show. Thank you everyone in the chat room who's been chopping it up, chatting it up with us. We appreciate you. I look forward to working with my kiddos. Shout out to that Edgewood Middle School band. Bless the little babies, the middle school babies. Bless their heart. Look forward to working with my kids this week. So shout out to everyone. Don't forget, go check out Zoe Eats on YouTube. Subscribe and like my little person's page. We're gonna shout it out. Go shout it out for the little person. She's gonna come over here and wave at y'all. Come on over here and wave. She dying to wave at y'all again. She waving. Go Zoe Eats. Kids and Facebook. Oh, okay. She has a Facebook page. I didn't know.
Is she on Twitter? Is she on Twitter, Bridget?
She's not on Twitter.
Okay, you can get her on Twitter. That's where the money is. It's a lot more ads and stuff like that on Twitter. What'd she say?
She said if she had a phone, she would be. She's advocating for her own cell phone. Ain't happening.
Oh.
Nah, not in my household. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You know, it's funny you say that, Bridget. My little daughter, she's about Zoe's age. She's 9, and she met a friend at school, and the girl got a cell phone. And the girl be texting my wife just all type of stuff, and the girl's off the hook. Like, so, and Kennedy, of course, she got to roll with her because she got a phone. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get her to like, nah, that's too fast.
Probably 90% of our building problems come from social media and cell phone stuff. Like, we get these kids off these cell phones, we can teach and do other stuff. Like, for real. Exactly. But it is what it is. But y'all, everybody have an amazing week. Thanks for joining us again this week. It's been fun.
Word. Ernest, what's going on with you, man? Anything going on, and what you got going on this week?
Yeah, this week I'll be bragging about my 7-0 Niners all week long on my timeline on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Ignore me this week. We 7-0. That's all I got planned for the whole week.
Well, that's what's up. That's what's up. I think. Trying to think I don't have any too much going on this week, but again, shout out to everybody in the chat room. Y'all the one to make the show, because we all connected, we all in this craft thing together, and once we make $1 billion, we all gonna celebrate. We gonna do something. We gonna have I'm telling you, we gonna have something either here in LA or in Vegas. It's gonna be every year, and it's gonna be ignorant off the hook every year, and it'll be fun. All right, and then we're gonna get more people out here to go to HBCUs, which is why I started this thing to begin with in the first place. All right, so yeah, I guess that's it. If you guys are interested in becoming a sponsor or a patron, or you know what, Bridget, tell Zoe, let's get a little commercial something. Let's start running the little Zoe Eats down at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Round of applause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're gonna get it. I'm gonna put it in the comments page now. I'm looking for some. Y'all know it take me a minute to figure this stuff out. I'm looking at how to share it now for you all to check out. Baby, thank you. We appreciate it. We'll support you too. Yeah, man. We had to get a little commercial, a little something, so y'all can check out her page.
Yeah. Then we got this. Then we have the dopest commercials on the streets. We'll have the Smokee O's, and we'll have the Zoe Eats commercials.
That's right.
Not near each other. Not near each other. Thanks. I have to boycott that notion. I'm gonna boycott that notion right now.
Smokee O's barbecue.
Barbecue. Shout out to Thomas Oden. Isn't his name Thomas Oden? Bless his heart. Yeah. Shout out to that brother.
You're not supposed to make me laugh like that, Bridget, on there.
Y'all know it just be coming out. I just can't even help it. That just came out of nowhere. I'm like, no, but that's the same time.
But you know what? I remember that commercial though, so that's good marketing.
Right. Hey man, he's singing that thing on there, boy. You know what I'm saying?
But are you gonna get some Smokee O's barbecue because of the commercial? That's all I'm saying. Is that gonna make you get some? That's all I'm saying. When I'm hungry, I'm not thinking Smokee O's barbecue. You know I'm playing with you.
That's all good. We had the shots fired. Out there, Bridget. But Bridget, you funny. You funny, Bridget. All right, y'all. I wasn't expecting that. All right. So yeah, if y'all want to become a sponsor, hit us up and we'll put the commercial out there. And we'll continue to support you. You support us. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Y'all have a good week. Everybody in the chat room have a good week. We'll see y'all next week. Much peace and love. And remember, the lessons you deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather get my lesson in observing what you do. See you next time.
And that's it for the 90 Degree Show for this week. Tune in next week with Joe Beard, where the marching band battles continue.